Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am the Midnight Gypsy and this is a reading for the sign of Aries for the month of January. So we're going to kick off today's reading by doing something different and pulling some runes. All right, so you guys have the Warrior. All right, so I am going to use a book here because I'm not super versed at reading runes. So we have Victory in Battle, a guiding planet or star, the Norse god, Till, whose name survives in Tuesday. So I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. It's T-W-I is how you spell it. Till. I mean, I feel like I sound really stupid every time I say it, but if you are versed in Viking runes and Norse gods, please feel free to correct me because I am not. I'm just learning here. All right, so let's go into the book and see what it says about this particular rune. All right, this rune is of the spiritual warrior. Always the battle of the spiritual warrior is with the self. Funding a will through action, yet unattached to outcomes, remaining mindful that all you can really do is stay out of your own way and let the will of heaven flow through you. These are among the hallmarks of the spiritual warrior. Embodied in this rune is the energy of discrimination, the sword-like quality that enables you to cut away the old, the dead, and the extraneous. And yet with the warrior rune comes certain knowledge that the universe always has the first move. Patience is the virtue of this rune, and it recalls the word of St. Augustine that the reward of patience is patience. Ooh, the reward of patience is patience. I've never heard that before, but that is true. I can speak from experience of not being a patient person, that when you learn patience, it's like, all right, other things seem less stressful. So it's actually a gift in itself. Wow, so this is about getting out of your own way, not creating your own problems, and allowing the universe to, it's about trust. It's about allowing. It's about releasing resistance. All right, so let's get one more. All right, so let's see here. You guys have, where are you at? Protection. All right, protection, the elk. And it says eelgrass, so I'm not sure exactly what that means. But the elk might be a significant symbol for you. All right, protection. Control of the emotions is at issue here. During times of transition, shifts in life course, and accelerated self-change, it is important not to collapse yourself into your emotions. The highs as well as the lows, new opportunities and challenges are typical of this rune, and yet with them may come trespass and unwanted influences. This is a mirror for the spiritual warrior, the one whose battles is always with the self. Wow. So this is directly related to the spiritual warrior rune. The warrior's protection is like the curved horns of the elk, or the warning rustle of the sedge grass, or both serve to keep open space around you. Remain mindful that timely right action or correct conduct are your only true protection. If you find yourself feeling pain, observe the pain. Stay with it. Do not try to pull down the veil or escape from life by denying what is happening. You will progress knowing that is your protection. Wow. So it doesn't really want you to fight anything at this time. It doesn't want you to get in your own way. It wants you to trust and have faith that you will get past any difficult times. So that is a very interesting message for you guys, Aries. It's interesting. It brings up the elk, and it talks about the curved horns. Your Aries, you're the ram, also has curved horns. So maybe, there is some protection in just being an Aries. Stay. All right, so let's get some further messages with the Journey Oracle card here. All right, guys, keep going. So that message just ties in perfectly with the messages we got from the rune here. Don't stand in your own way. Don't create obstacles for yourself. All right, you guys have inner child. So you getting in your own way is something you learned at childhood. It might be second guessing yourself, creating your own problems. It's like you learn from an early age that bad things might happen to you, so you've kind of developed this idea that if you think of what could possibly happen before it happens, that you will be prepared for it. But I think that's actually a very negative mindset and causing you a lot of problems. There's definitely some shadow work to be done here. You might be repeating a negative pattern from your childhood that you learned from your parents, or there was a coping mechanism for you growing up. Okay. We have release. So Spirit wants you to keep going. They also want you to embrace your inner child, and they want you to release your resistance. So with the inner child here, there's something going on, I think, psychologically, a bad habit, a negative mindset that's tied to your childhood. But also I think there's a need for you to be more childlike and to enjoy life a little bit more, and to have fun on the journey. So let's go and look, okay? Your rune who keeps falling off here, it's pointing this way. So keep going forward. Don't look backwards. All right, yeah. See the Seven of Wands. And this is somebody who's very defensive. Somebody who's always ready for a fight. Somebody who's always trying to be prepared for something to go wrong. And this is actually creating a barrier for you. You're creating your own wall. You're creating your own obstacles on this journey that you have. It's time to let Spirit guide you. It's time to have some more faith. Okay, we got a lot of cards popping out here. We're going to keep shuffling though, because we only want 2 more. Yes. Spirit wants you to move forward, okay? You have the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands is literally picturing people moving forward. You're moving out of troubled waters, but the trouble that you have is self-created. And you have a little boy in this boat, or a child. I don't know if it's a male or female. For some reason, I'm getting boy vibes here. So this could be specific if you're a male. It could be, you know, maybe you feel more connected into your masculine energy. Doesn't have to mean that you're, you know, specifically a male, but it could have to do with that male-dominated energy there, which is the energy of doing. It's time to step into your feminine energy, which is the art of allowing. Masculine energy is doing, creating, putting things into action. Feminine energy is allowing and receiving. So it's time to balance out that energy. There's definitely some inner child work that needs to be done here. There's something you're not facing from your childhood or from your past, with the child, you know, here, and then the child in the boat. You may be somebody who you feel like instead of running away from your problems, you want to face them head on like this warrior. But I think you're like, well, what else could go wrong in this situation? And you're looking for potential problems because you want to be so prepared that you're actually creating ones that don't exist. And Spirit's saying, you know what? What's the worst thing that can happen if you float downstream and you allow us to guide you? You're in the hands of the universe, and they're going to take care of you. So you have the Two of Swords, and I'm getting a lot of messages from this card. Some of you might want to run away from your problems. You kind of want to put blinders on and not deal with them. And that's not going to help you. You have to face them. You have to take off the blindfold and you have to make a decision. You might not be sure which way to go. You might feel like your life is at a crossroads, or you have a big decision that you need to make and you don't know what to do. And in thinking about how to make the right choice, you're just creating all these different scenarios and you're overwhelming yourself. And it's time to have a little faith and ask Spirit, please help me, you know, please bring me the correct answer. Please bring me a sign, you know, help guide me. I'm also getting that you also fear that you're going to become this person who runs from their problems. Maybe you had a parent growing up who just didn't deal with any of the problems in the household, and that caused you to have to deal with them all. And now you're just constantly trying to foresee how to fix and solve everything. And it's actually kind of creating you a lot of challenges. It's creating you a lot of heartbreak. It's creating, I think that maybe you got kind of robbed of your childhood in some way. Maybe you had to grow up too fast. Maybe you had to be the adult because your parent couldn't do it. And Spirit is saying that you need to tap back into that childlike energy. And you need to have faith that something or someone else will take care of you. I'm not saying like leave all your responsibilities for somebody else, because you still have to, you know, do the day in, day out things that we need to do to survive. But you're so hyper focused on making sure everything's okay for everyone else or for yourself that you're not enjoying life. You're not experiencing the magic. You're not using your imagination. You're not using your creativity. And that's what this card is about. It might be a good idea to, what is something from your childhood that you didn't get to do that you always wanted to do? Like maybe it was going to a certain amusement park, or maybe it was watching a particular movie, or maybe it was like getting a toy. Maybe there was a toy that you really wanted and you never got it. Find that toy. Buy that toy. Go to that amusement park. Maybe you always wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese and you never got to go. Go with your friends. Go to Dave and Buster's. You know, take a niece or nephew. Live vicariously through them. You know, it's my favorite part about being an aunt is I get to play with my niece and nephew and be that child. Like I buy them toys that are nostalgic from my youth and I share them with them and they enjoy it. It's really fun. And we have balance, divine teacher. So you're not balanced here. I think it's all work and no play for you. And you're working so hard to be this responsible adult that you're forgetting to have fun. Spirit's trying to come in and remind you that it is okay to have fun once in a while. I'm getting all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And there's that boy again, that inner child. It's coming up that way. I'm sorry, guys. What further messages do you have for the sign of Aries for the month of January? Spiritual ancestors and community. So I have a feeling that you've been stepping away from your friends and family because you've been so focused on work. And I think you might be a workaholic. And they're telling you it's time to have some fun. It's time to spend time with your friends and family. It's time to enjoy life. Your spirit guides and your ancestors are watching over you, and they're giving you nudges to step towards this direction. So you might be receiving some invites from friends or family members to do things that you normally wouldn't do. It's time to say yes. It's time to say yes and stop worrying about things so much. And then we have grace, Holy Spirit. So it's time to be free like this bird here and release yourself from all of your fears and worries. And remember that life is about the moments that we're living. It's not all about money or material possessions. I think that you're in like a survival mode mindset. And I think that it is perpetuating you to push people away whenever they come in with offers of fun, things that don't seem like they're important because you're so worried, what if? And you're not like this free person. You're this person here. And Spirit's trying to get you to enjoy the little moments of life, whether it's in nature, with your friends and family. You need to tap into that inner child. It might be helpful for you to find a mentor, a spiritual person, a therapist, somebody to talk through with this issue. Because I don't think you can break this habit on your own. I feel like you have this really overwhelming anxiety about doing things for yourself or for fun. And that's like the fear is perpetuating this negative mindset, and you don't know how to trust, and you don't know how to have fun. And you're going to burn yourself out. So let's get some final messages from Spirit for you, Aries. Peace. Dissolving unwanted or disturbing thoughts. So yeah, you might need to talk to a professional. They might be able to share some tools with you and how to let go of this fear and anxiety. This is something that happened in your childhood. I really think that you had a parent that didn't take on the responsibilities they should have, and you've had to grow up too fast, and you've lost a sense of your childhood in that way. And it's time to bring balance back to yourself. It's time to tap in and love that inner child. and let go of this fear or scarcity or lack mindset that's perpetuating within you. All right, let's get your final message from Spirit, Aries. Spirit, what final message do you have for the sign of Aries? There it goes. All right, Aries, your final message is harmony, power, self-confidence, and productivity. So you can still be a responsible, productive person, but you can't neglect yourself. You can't neglect your own health, your own emotional well-being. You have to have balance and you have to have harmony. And that, finding this balance and this harmony is going to bring you this peace. And I think that, there's a lot going on in your mind. I have a feeling there's a lot of anxieties going on in there. And what Spirit wants to do is they want to release those anxieties, and they want to help you reconnect with your inner child, and they want you to have some fun. So those are all the messages that I have for you, Aries. Thank you, and have a great January.